Assalamu alaikum and good morning. We will start with the third chapter of economics, that is the name of the chapter is national income. So before start with the chapter, first of all we have to know what you understand by national income. National income means what? National income means, so that means the national income, the name itself indicates the income which is created inside the border of our country. That means the national income means total value of all the goods and services produced in our economy during a given period of टाइम देखो हम हमेशा इन दिस चैप्टर विल स्टडी के हमारे इंडिया में हाउ मच द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज हैज़ बीन क्रिएटेड, चाहे वो फिर कोई भी सेक्टर से हो, चाहे वो प्राइमरी सेक्टर मीन्स एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर से हो, चाहे वो सेकेंडरी सेक्टर डेट मीन्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर से हो, चाहे वो सर्विस सेक्टर डेट मीन्स टर्शियरी सेक्टर से हो, चाहे वो कोई भी सेक्टर से हो, गुड्स और सर्विसेज क्रिएटेड होता है और उससे इनकम जो भी क्रिएट होता है दैट इज़ नथिंग but the national income. National income is used to calculate the GDP of our country. Because of national income we will come to know the progress of our country, कि हमारे इंडिया कितना प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है, ये सब हमको पता चलता है because of our national income. And this national income is calculated for the year time, means एक साल के अंदर how much the income has been created in our economy, this has been calculated in national income. सो चाहे वो नेशनल इनकम, चाहे वो फिर कोई भी फैक्टर ऑफ प्रोडक्शन से हो, चाहे वो इन टर्म ऑफ लैंड से हो, लैंड से अगर रेंट मिलता है अगर हमारे कंट्री को दैट मीन्स वो भी हमारा नेशनल इनकम में इंक्लूड होता है, चाहे वो लेबर से हो, लेबर से अगर वेजेस मिलता है तो दैट विल बी ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड इन नेशनल इनकम. अदरवाइज वो कैपिटल हो, फ्रॉम द कैपिटल द कंट्रीज इज गेटिंग द इंटरेस्ट, एंड if and the last one is the entrepreneur is providing profit to the national income. So that all things will be included in national income. That's why they had mentioned, that means the total amount of value of goods and services, total amount of value of goods and services produced in our economy during a given period of time. Here the during a given period of time means within a year how much the total value of goods and services produced in our economy. So for calculating the national income they had mentioned the formula, that is C. C means what? Consumption. Consumption means what? The aggregate demand of the country. That means how much the goods and services has been demanded in our country, that will be included in national income. Plus I means what? Investment. How much the investment has been takes place in our country, because unless and until if we will not invest our money in any firm or in any industry, that means the income will not be created for our country. Nextly, government spending. That means government is spending, that here the household or the firm, they are paying the tax to the government and the government spend that money on the public. From that how much the income has been created, that will also be included in national income. And the last one is X minus M. X means export and M means import. Always my export should be greater than import. That all things will be included in national income. That's why they had mentioned the formula C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Now to calculate the national income, there are various measures to calculate the national income. First is the GDP, second is the GNP, and third is the NNP. GDP means what? Gross domestic product. They had mentioned the definition over there, that means the total value of final. See, here we are considering the final goods and services, we are not considering any intermediate goods and services. If you want to calculate the national income, that means हमारे कंट्री में हाउ मच द टोटल फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज हैज़ बीन प्रोड्यूस, ओनली दैट गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज विल बी कंसिडर्ड इन नेशनल इनकम. अदरवाइज we will not consider, otherwise the intermediate goods we will not consider in the national income. That means they had mentioned the definition: total value of all final goods and services produced annually within the boundary of our country. Here they had mentioned the USA. I had taken the picture of USA, but in this GDP they want to tell us that the total value of final goods and services produced in our country during a 1 year, during a given period of time, के एक साल के अंदर हमारे कंट्री के अंदर हाउ मच द टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज हैज बीन प्रोड्यूस. फ्रॉम दैट वी विल कैलकुलेट द GDP ऑफ आवर कंट्री, दैट मीन्स ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट. Okay, next is the GNP, gross national product. For calculating the GDP they had mentioned the formula like C plus I plus G only. Next, GNP, gross national product. See, they had mentioned the definition: total value of final goods and services produced annually by American residents where these resources are located in the US or the abroad. In this definition, they want to explain us that here also total value of goods and services produced in our economy during a given period of time, whether that company, whether that firm will be reside in our country or outside the country, that both final goods and services will be considered in GNP, gross national product. That's why they had mentioned the formula C plus I plus G, that means GDP plus income from abroad. That means maybe that country company will be reside in another country and the income will be flowed in our country. That's why they had mentioned the plus income from abroad. Nextly, last one is the net national product. In the net national product, they had mentioned the net production of final goods and services in a country during a given period of time. Here they had mentioned the formula GNP minus depreciation. After deducting all the depreciation, whatever the final value has been left with our country, that is nothing but the net national product. Our next slide is national income and the economic welfare. This national income is related to economic welfare. Before starting with the chapter, first of all, we have to know what do you understand by economic welfare. Economic welfare means where all the residents of our India, that means all the society people will get all the facilities related to their comfort, related to their by using that facilities they can be satisfied, like real income, job satisfaction, employment prospects, leisure time, environment and air pollution, happiness level, life expectancy, healthcare, education, cost of living, housing, etc. These are the economic welfare which the society of our people they are using to satisfy themselves. That's why the PGO regards that individual welfare as the sum total of all satisfaction experienced by the individual. कि हमारे इंडिया में each and every individual how they are experiencing their total satisfaction. अगर उनको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हमारे इंडिया में सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगा, दैट मीन्स द इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर विल बी वेरी हाई. और इफ़ सपोज अगर उन लोग की बेसिक नेसेसिटीज़ प्रोडक्ट ही अगर यूज़ करने नहीं मिले, लाइक फूड, क्लोथ एंड शेल्टर एंड अदर लेजर टाइम, if they will not get on proper time, that means the economic welfare of our country is very low. Secondly, it is assumed in economic welfare that expenditure income or incurred on different consumption goods provided the sum total of all satisfaction, amount of satisfaction. That means ये सेंटेंस में उन लोगों ने क्या बोले हैं कि हमारे इंडिया में इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर क्या बोले कि हमारी पब्लिक जो एक्सपेंडिचर करती है डिफरेंट डिफरेंट कंजम्पशन पे, ऑन फ्रॉम दैट दे आर गेटिंग द सेटिस्फैक्शन, दैट इज नथिंग बट द इकोनॉमिक वेलफेयर. नाउ PGO has explained us that there is a close relationship between economic welfare and national income because both are measured in terms of money. In generally, when the national income, when the GDP of our country will be increases, obviously the economic welfare of our country will be increases. That means people will satisfy, people will consume more, and people will do expenditure on consumption more and more, and they will be satisfied. They will be satisfied. That means the economic total welfare of our country will be increases, and vice versa. That means when the GDP of our country will be decreases, that means the total welfare of our country will also be decreases. Now nextly they had explained us that there is a effect of national income on economic welfare by change in the size of national income. If the size of national income will be changed, that means if the national income, if the GDP of our country will be increases, that means the economic welfare of our country will be increases. Or if the GDP, if the condition of our economy will be, if the condition of our economy will be worst, that means our economic welfare will also will be a very worst. People will not satisfied by using the product, they will not consume, they will not do more and more expenditure on consumption. In that they had mentioned the first point, that is the change in the price. If suppose if there will be an increase in the price, it will get a profit for our country, but the people will not do an expenditure on consumption because the product, the inflation rate will be high, and at that time the people will not consume, people will not do more and more expenditure on goods and services. That's why if there will be a change in the price, that means the price will increases, the economic welfare will be decreases. And on the vice versa, that means if the price of the product will be decreases, there will be a more and more supply in the market, and the people will use more and more, people will do more and more expenditure on goods and services, they will purchase more and more, and from that they will get a they will be satisfied. Nextly, working condition. If the working condition of our economy, if the GDP of our economy, if the stability of our economy is very smooth, then the economic welfare of our country will also be a smooth. That means the economic welfare of our country will be increases. And the method of spending. There are various methods of spending in our country, like if suppose if the people of our country, if the society of our country will spend more and more goods and services on these necessity products like milk, food, clothes, shelter, that means the economic welfare of our country will be very high. And if they will not, if they will spend on another things like gambling or another purpose, that means the economic welfare of our country is very low. Next, second point, by change in the distribution of national income. This is also, there will be a link between the national income and economic welfare. If suppose the wealth, they had mentioned the first point, by transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. If suppose the government will take the more and more taxes from the poor, and that taxes will be provided to provide a concession to the rich people, that means the economic welfare of our country will be very less. And the next point is transfer of wealth from the rich to the poor. As we know, rich people is having more and more money in our country. That means, okay, if suppose a government they take the taxes, more and more taxes from the rich people, and provide the facilities to the poor people, that means the economic welfare of our country will be very high. This is the last slide of our chapter, that is importance of national income analysis. Analysis means to check why it is important to check our national income. For the first point is for the economy, to measure the progress of our country, to measure the performance of our country, to measure the GDP, gross domestic product of our country. That's why economic income analysis is very much necessary. Second one is the economic planning. To plan the economy, if you want to plan the economy, if you want to check, if you want to plan the budget of our economy, that means national income analysis is very much necessary. Without planning, we can't plan our economy. Nextly, national policies. If the government want to frame the policies of our nation, like tax policy, like monetary policy, like fiscal policy, like foreign exchange policy, if they want to frame the policies of our nation, that's why the national income policy is very much necessary. Like these national policies regarding the employment policies also, and because investment policies also, industries policies also, fiscal policies also, monetary policies also, etc. And the last one is this national income analysis is used for the research purpose. Research means what? To search for a knowledge. That means they will get a various data of countries' input, output, income, saving, consumption, investment, employment, etc., which are obtained from the social account. Thank you very much. If you are having any doubt regarding this chapter, you can contact me. You can contact me on my contact number I had mentioned on my first slide. Thank you very much.